Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Namaste. Good afternoon.
Okay, now I will hand over the mic to Professor P.M. Shirsagar, sir, to welcome you on behalf of Principal Kekewat College of Horticulture, Nasik.
Hello, warm welcome. Myself, Professor P.M. Shirsagar from Kekewak College of Horticulture, Nashik. Welcome you all on behalf of Kekewak Education Society, Nashik. Today, we all have gathered for online Zoom session on topic guidance lecture on rocks, mineral farming, minerals and soil formation, presented by our honorable guest, Professor Dr. Chandrakant Palve, sir. I would like to welcome our guest on behalf of Kekewak Education Society. Welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I also welcome Dr. Sevdikar, sir, coordinator, Saraswati Nagar campus. I also welcome Principal Professor Sandan, sir, Kekewak College of Horticulture, Nashik. Now I request Professor Gogre, sir, to please initiate the program further. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Shirsagar, sir. Now, it is my immense pleasure to introduce Dr. C.R. Palve, sir, my guru during my post-graduation. So, Professor Chandrakant Palve, sir, Dr. Chandrakant Palve, sir, has more than 30 years of experience as a scientist, as a teacher, professor, Igneous coordinator. He has huge experience and he will guide all of us during this session. Now he is currently posted at IWM, Department of Irrigation Water Management, PGIMPQ Rauri. Now, on behalf of Principal Kekewak College of Horticulture, Nasik, I kindly request Dr. C.R. Palve, sir, to guide our students on the topic rocks. That means various types of rocks, then soil forming minerals, and process of soil formation, basis of soil science. So it is a humble request to see Dr. Chandrakant Palve, sir. Please guide our students.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Your team, you have invited me as a guest for communication or coordination with the student. I also like this activity. So myself, on my college or on behalf of my institute, I also thanks to the KKWAD Institute for inviting me as a guest lecturer. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now you can share your screen, sir. Okay, it is shared, sir. Screen shared.
Let me test whether my voice is clear or some disturbance.
Sir, your voice is audible. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay. Shall I start then?
Yes, sir. You can start.
Okay. Good afternoon, students. There is a little bit some introduction regarding me done by Dr. Gogre, sir. So since near about a year, we are trying to have a lecture on this topic, that is soil or how the soils are formed. What is meant by soil or how the soils are formed in different regions of our India or on the planet. So today we got this opportunity to have a discussion on the topic, that is soil, how the soils are formed, which are the factors responsible for the formation of soil. So we have so many slides, even though we just discussed the slides up to a 1 hour, so that you can very well understand what I want to show you, some important message through the slides. So this is the, if anybody have any problem, all the students, there are near about 23 students have participated in our discussion. So are you getting my voice clear? From student side, you just tell me, or you may have raised your hands. So my voice is clear or clearly audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, okay. Shall I proceed further then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So myself, I working as a scientist at the Department of Agronomy, Irrigation Water Management Project, MPK Virauri. So my name is Dr. C.R. Palu. Since last 39 years, I am working in the MPK Virauri in the Department of Soil Science and Agricultural Chemistry. Okay, so we are discussing about the soil. So if we wandering here and there near our house or the shelters, one minute please. Okay, the pointer is visible. Are you getting the pointer here in red color? Let me have a response from your side. You are visible. My pointer is there on the screen. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Are you? I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Pointer is visible to you. You see here, pointer of the highlighter is there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So we will start our topic. Today we are talking about the soil. Everywhere we are observing soil near our shelter or the houses or the road, buildings. Everywhere on the planet we are seeing the different types of soil. Soils have different colors, different regions. If you see the soils of Maharashtra, it will generally found that they are black in colors, isn't it? If we proceed further toward the north side, then it will be light in color. So the different areas of our India or the universe, or the, you may say, the planet, there are different types of soil colors and different types of soil. Even though we are seeing that their soil is a same, but it is not the truth, it is a different. So, and how the soils are formed? The soils are formed from the rocks. Whatever the rocks there are present on the earth, from that rock we got the soil. So you have so many times there is a one question for your final examination. What is mean by petrology? You may understand this word, petrology. Petrology is a science of rocks, isn't it? Petrology is a science of rocks. We are not just discussing the complete science, but today we are, which are the important rocks responsible for the formation of soil. So rocks means which the hard mass. Today we are observing on the earth everywhere. Today we are observing some boulders, some stones, or some sands, or some big size boulders. These are nothing but the weathered material of the rocks. This is a weathered material of the rocks. And the whole world or our planet is covered with this hard mass, completely covered with the hard mass. We call it as a crust. It may be under sea, or it may be underside, or it may be under the water. It may be over the water or on the surface of the earth, but all the hard material or mass is covered by this material, means hard material, that is a massive mass. Most of 95% of the universe is covered with this hard mass. We call it as a rocks. You may define in other word, but this is a actual position of our planet. The rock may be defined. You just read hard mass of mineral matters comprising two or more rocks forming minerals. How you define the rocks? How it will be? It is a hard mass, hard structure, skeleton of minerals. So many minerals, maybe one mineral, maybe two minerals, or maybe so many minerals by which that mass is built up. That is a hard mass. It is a hard mass, a hard structure which is present on the earth. It may be contain one mineral or another minerals, or so many minerals, or two minerals. Means, can you define? It is a hard mass of mineral comprising two, minimum two. It may be one, it may contain one, but minimum two or more than two rock forming minerals. You see the word rock forming minerals. What it indicates? It indicates that the rocks are formed by combining the minerals together. You see, from the rock forming minerals means by combining the so many minerals together, or one or two or more minerals, there is a formation of the rocks, isn't it? And how you define it? It is a hard mass of the minerals. It is a hard mass of the minerals. It may be two or more than two, isn't it? Some may have mono. Mono means single, one minerals. Some may have one minerals, mono, only one minerals. You may say that mono mineralic, rocks having one mineral, is in dominant position, means most of the material, most of the portion is dominant or the in lump sum quantity than other material, other minerals. It is a major mineral present in that rock, that is monomineralic, means it will have only a one, which is a dominant one. And then another is multimineralic, means that rock having two or more than two minerals, they are dominant in that particular rock. You may say that multimineralic, isn't it? So what is this? Where we got the rocks from? It is nothing but the science of petrology. It is a science of rocks. It comes under the word petrology. It is a hard mass which has covered the whole earth. Near about 95% of the earth crust is covered by this hard mass. It may contain one mineral or it may contain two minerals. Means the rocks are also formed by combining the minerals together. So there is a formation of rocks. Mono means single one, multi means more than two. Having two minerals together or more than two minerals together. So formation of rocks, how the rocks are formed on the earth. Where did they come on the earth? According to the mode of formation, this type of questions are there, always there. You just see the mode of formation, how they are formed on the earth crust. or on the earth, on the planet, that is mode by which they are formed. There are three. First is, sorry, igneous. Igneous in Marathi say Agnijanya, Agni. You may say igneous is Agnijanya. Or you may say these are the primary. These are the first. These are the primary. Igneous, or you may write primary rock. From the igneous rocks or the primary rocks, we got the secondary rocks or the sedimentary. Sedimentary rocks are the second. These are second rocks. And from these sedimentary or the secondary rock, we get the metamorphic rocks. Means how you will classify the rocks on the basis of mode of formation. They are classified into three main classes. These are the main classes. You see here, main classes means under each class there are so many other different types of igneous rocks. Suppose we have igneous rocks or primary rocks. In primary rocks, there are so many primary rocks. They have different properties. So under secondary, there are so many secondary rocks. Means because of this is a class, main class, that is igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks, isn't it? How they are formed, we will just talking about. First procedure is cooling and consolidation of magma. You might have heard, or you may remember your first class of first semester, that is fundamentals of soil science, and that the planet Earth. You see, first layer of the Earth is a crust, then magma in inner core and outer core. If we take a vertical section of the Earth, we will find there are four layers. Outermost is the hard rocks or the crust, we call it as a crust. Below that, there is a magma, it is somewhat liquid. Followed by, means below that, that is the outer core, and at the center, inner core are there. Means there are four layers if we take a vertical section of the Earth. So cooling and consolidation of magma means that magma, in Marathi we can say lava, okay, in our language we can say lava. So in cooling and consolidation, cooling means just cooling, step downing or downing the temperature. Consolidation means just a concentration observed in the one place or some places, not disturbed places, only one or two or some consolidations. So cooling and consolidation, rocks are formed by cooling and consolidation of molten magma within or on the surface of Earth. It may be on the surface of Earth, it may within the Earth, it may in the sea, or it may above the sea. Where this is when the magma during the volcano eruption, the liquid of the magma flows out of the surface, that is from the crust, flows from the crust. It may be above the surface, we can just see our naked eyes. It may be below the surface, but it cannot be seen by our naked eyes because it is underground. It may be under the water. That rock is called as igneous, Agnijanya rocks. Okay. Then transportation and cementation of fragmentary material. You just see transformation means displacement of the particle from one place to the another place. First is cooling and consolidation of magma. After cooling and consolidation of that material, it may transfer from one place to the another place. While transferring or after transformation of the material, it may get cemented, means it may get fixed by the cementing agents like organic acids and other carbonates and bicarbonates or the moving water, it may get cemented. Means transportation and cemented that material. Means which material? That is the pre-existing rocks. That is the pre-existing means the which are the rocks, they are igneous. First is the igneous or the primary. After sediment transportation of the fractions means is pieces of the small fractions of the igneous rocks may get transported from one place to the another place with the help of natural factors. It may be wind, it may be water, it may be human being, or it may be animals or the creatures which are present on the earth. So this disintegration and decomposition results breaking down of pre-existing rocks. Now,
Hello.
okay, are you able to hear?
Okay.
Okay. So how they are formed? Because of the weathering of the primary rocks or the igneous rocks, they are get transported from one place to another place and they get accumulated some places. These materials either compacted in situ. In situ means where they are formed. In situ means where they are feathered. As soon as they get feathered from the original rock, they get, it may be transported by the solution. Solution means it is nothing but the water or by the natural agencies of winds, water, ice flow, laying area. Likewise, our oceans, floods, by any natural means they get transported from the feathered part or the portion of the earth to the another region. We call it as a transportation. Further, they get consolidation of this material and there is a formation of sedimentary rocks. This is sedimentary rock. First rock is primary rock, second rock is sedimentary rock. If we see the rocks first on the earth planet, it is igneous. Nothing but the movement of magma through the crust above the earth. And third is a metamorphic rock. You see here, it is a metamorphic rock. Metamorphosis is there. Metamorphosis is there. It is a process by which original configuration is get converted into another one, get changed. You see here, alteration of pre-existing rocks. Pre-existing, in case of metamorphic rocks, there are two types of pre-existing rocks. The first is the sedimentary rock and then primary rock. Means primary rock is also existing rocks. Sedimentary rock is also existing rocks. If we consider the formation of metamorphic rocks, we are talking about the formation of metamorphic rock. In this case, there are two types of rocks. They are already exist on the earth. That is sedimentary rocks and primary rocks. In case of formation of the sedimentary rock, there is pre-existing rock is only the one case, that is primary rock or the igneous rock. Do you follow me? The alteration of pre-existing rocks means change in the rocks. change in the property, original structure, original figure of the rocks into another one. Alteration of the rocks. The primary and secondary rocks when subject to high temperature and pressure are partially or wholly reconstituted or re-altered to new rock. What is the meaning of this? Means because of the tremendous pressure under the earth crust, because of the tremendous pressure of the crust portion above the magma. Above the magma, there is a crust. And because of the high temperature and pressure, here we are talking about the pressure of the crust and the temperature. Where is temperature? The core, inner core and outer core. There is a high temperature. Because of that temperature of the magma itself, because of the inner temperature of the inner core and outer core, and the weight or the pressure of the above portion, that is the crust, the material get converted or altered into a new rock. We call it as a metamorphic rock, or that this procedure is called as a metamorphosis, isn't it? You see here just a rock cycle. You can also see these rock cycle on the Google. I have also taken it from the Google. You see first how they are formed. Volcanic eruption. Volcano is there. There is a movement of the magma which is present at the center or the below the crust is moved above the earth crust. It may be moved within the earth crust, between the earth crust, but it is generally when it comes above the earth crust, they are responsible for the formation of rock. After getting down, when it becomes a cool and cool and cool, there is a formation of first rock, primary rock. After disintegration, weathering of these primary rocks, when these rocks get broken down into pieces and pieces and pieces and into a small fractions, they are get transported from one place to the another place. If it is get here, if it is get deposited here, it may be called as a C2. But it is get transportation and sedimentation from this place to this place. You see the fragments of this material and sediments are also there. They move from one place to another place by the natural agencies. It may be a human being also. They may also transported from one place to another place and get sedimented here, get deposited here. Because of the pressure of above layers, they get into slices and we get the sedimentary rock. After sedimentary rock, this is a second. This is a first, this is a second. After sedimentary rock, it goes under a high pressure and temperature, that is, goes under a process of metamorphosis, and we get the metamorphic rocks. And again, it may again get dissolved to form a magma again. If it is under the earth crust, it may get converted into magma, and then magma again come through a earth crust on the surface. So this is a rock cycle. We just understand this one. This is also nothing but there to the rock cycle. You see here, eruption is there. Volcanic eruption is there, formation of igneous rocks after weathering of natural agencies, I have put there, then transportation, then deposition, then lithification, we found the sedimentary rock here. Again from sedimentary rock, there is metamorphism, found a metamorphic rock. And then again, metamorphic rock may get converted into again magma. This is a rock cycle. This is very important before observing how we are getting soil today we are working or we are dealing with the soil or cultivation so many crops today. So from where we got the soil? So we got the soils from these igneous rocks. That is volcanic eruption, then igneous rocks. It may contain minerals. It may contain one monomineralic, two or more than two dimineralic or dimineralic, or you may say multimineralic, isn't it? So this is one. That's why it is important how the soil comes from. All the agriculture scientists, they are always telling us that the soils cannot be synthesized, cannot be produced, cannot be manufactured in the laboratory. Why? Why? Because it is a natural process, God's gift to the human being. We cannot synthesize soil in the lab. So many times we are asking question to the students that can we synthesize, can we prepare, can we manufacture, can we develop soil in the laboratory? The students very easily say that, yes, we can do it. We can, but it is not possible for the human being to manufacture or synthesize soil in the lab. So from where we are getting soil, it is a natural process. It is not, and it requires more than thousands years or more than 2000 years or many more to get the soil. To get the soil, it is not possible to do it into the laboratory. So you must keep in your mind that soil cannot be synthesized, cannot be developed, cannot be produced, cannot be manufactured in the lab. It is a natural process. Because of the natural processes, we get the soil, and it may take so many years to have a soil particles. So general view, this is the igneous rocks, then followed by sedimentation is there, and then conversion, metamorphosis is there, conversion of the metamorphic rocks. So we talk about the igneous rocks. Why it is Latin ignis means it is nothing but the fire. In Marathi say Agni, isn't it? So you just see they are characterized massive structure, huge, great, considerable. Means most of the rocks we are observing, experiencing on the earth today, they are igneous rocks. You see here 95%. Okay. Source of plant material for other rocks and ultimately for soil. They are what they are. What they are the primary rocks. Because of the primary first rocks on the planet, they are responsible for the parent material. They use parent material. In soil science, the word parent material is always there. So it gives a first material to the soil, to the other rocks also. Means from that rock we are getting sedimentary rocks, from igneous rocks we are getting metamorphic rocks. So it is a major source. So from where you are getting this material, it is nothing but the parent rock, that is primary rocks, or that is a igneous rocks. And it is a basic for soils. Means from that material we are getting soil here. They most consist of primary minerals like it consists quartz, mica, feldspar, quartzite. You see here the word I have written primary minerals. So I would like to ask you, which are the primary minerals? There is always question on this topic. Elaborate or list out the primary minerals. Students may write everything what they just understand or what they do. So which are the primary minerals? Quartz, mica, feldspar, and pyrite are the primary minerals. They are developed first. They are developed first, and source is the igneous rocks are the primary minerals. Isn't it? Do you follow me? You just remember this: quartz, mica, feldspar, and pyrite. Okay. On the basis of mode of formation of these igneous rocks and the chemical composition of the rocks, they may again classify. You just see here. So many rocks. Today we are observing so many stones, gravels, boulders, sand particles, silt particles, and maybe very fine silt particles everywhere on the surface of the earth. So you might have seen all this type of the stones, we call it as a boulders. We have seen so many such type of boulders. They are maximum they are comes under the rock, that is igneous rocks. On the basis of mode of formation, you see here, you see mode of formation. It is not the chemical composition of the rock. I am talking about the how they are formed on the soil surface. Mode of formation, how they are formed. That is instructive or plutonic rocks. It may be instructive, you see just here, instructive, or the plutonic. You just read this one. The rocks that are formed by cooling of original magma beneath the surface, that is granite. They occur at greater depth and are very compact. Means which are the instructive or plutonic is a granite, because it is the magma during the volcanic eruption was not able to come above the earth crust. It remained inside below the earth crust or within the surface, below the surface. It is not out of the surface. That instructive means they are formed by cooling the original magma. When magma comes, if it comes out of the surface, then it will be igneous, isn't it? So igneous, it is type of igneous, but some portion of the magma remain inside below the depth. We call it as a granite, isn't it? They occur at a greater depth and are very compact. During the formation, slow cooling of molten magma takes place, and hence the crystal formation is coarse and called coarse crystalline rocks. It may be called coarse crystalline rocks. You might have seen granite. Everyone has seen granite because in our kitchen there is this use of the granite. It may be green, it may be white, because so granite is there in each home in our area, because actually it is a type of igneous rocks. Because of the cooling procedure, it takes too much time to cool down, and because of the time taken to cool down, and because of it cannot come up on the surface, it remains at the depth. At the depth, it comes into a granite. And what is the difference between? So the crystal formation is coarse because of the slow cooling. Because of the slow cooling, crystal formation is very less. Okay, so called as core crystalline. Among the instructive rock, those consolidated at the greater depth called also plutonic rocks, that is plutonic or instructive rocks. These consolidated in a vertical cracks called dikes. If it is found a horizontal, vertical, you will get it. You can say dikes, and if it is a horizontal, you can classify it as a sills. If it is found in vertical cracks, it is dikes. When it is found in horizontal cracks, it is a sills. Sometimes it may be found in irregular and narrow cracks called veins. Sometimes it may be found in irregular. Irregular means it has no definite structure, not vertical, not horizontal, it may irregular. So it is called as a vein. So how you are classifying the igneous rocks? Igneous rocks can be classified based on the mode of formation, that is instructive or the plutonic rocks. Then instructive may be classified in dikes, sills, and veins. In vertical, dikes; in horizontal cracks, sills, and irregular, it is in veins. You see the figure? Then extraction or volcanic. Earlier it was a plutonic, it is a volcanic. See the difference. The rocks are formed when molten mass poured out on the surface of the earth. In earlier case, it was beneath, within the earth, it is above the earth. That, and then it is get cooled down and get consolidated. Among these rocks, those contain gas cavities or vesicles are called vesicular rocks. During the formation, rapid cooling of magma takes place, result fine crystals and called a fine crystalline rocks. What happens when the magma, it is actually in a liquid portion, magma is a liquid mass, when it come out of the surface, because of the weathering conditions or the climatic conditions of the air, temperature, then rainfall or any material, environmental conditions, it gets very easily or very quickly to a cool down. It takes very less time to cool down. It takes very less time to cool down because it is above the earth. So this, because of the cooling, fast cooling, there are gas cavities. Gas may get evolved from it, so called as a vesicular, and because of the fast cooling, it has a fine crystalline. Fine crystals are there. In earlier case, there was a core crystal, but in this extractive or the volcanic, it takes a fine crystals are there. You see the examples. These are the, you see here, cavities, gaps, pores. You may see this figure on the net. Another one, we have seen it, it is based on the mode of formation. We have seen it on the mode of formation. Here you see the chemical content on the basis of the chemicals present in that particular rock. On the basis of the chemicals or the minerals or the elements present in that rock. So
Hello? Hello?
हाँ बोलो सर. हेलो. ओके. बघा. Hello friends, are you getting me or not? Let me know whether I am getting you. My voice is clear. Give your response, please.
Yes, sir.
I am audible. Okay. Shall I continue? So, we are talking about the classification of igneous rocks. We have seen the igneous rocks on the basis of mode of formation. They are classified into two. That is plutonic or the instructive. Under the instructive, we see that the magma is get consolidated between the earth, beneath the earth, below the earth. So because of that, it is a plutonic or the instructive. They are get accumulated, consolidated at a greater depth. So the crystal formation is because of the slow cooling, crystal formation is there. It is again classified. If we found that the magma is in vertical position, you see the called as a dikes. If it is horizontal, it seals, and when it is irregular, it is veins. In continuation of this one, so another is extractive one. It is get evaporated, poured out of the crust. Magma comes out of the crust and get faster cooling. Because of the faster cooling as a result of natural sources, rain or the air and some other days and night. Because of this, it get fast cooling, and as a result, it will be a fine crystalline rocks. It is a fine crystalline rocks, and it has a gas cavity. Gas may evolve from this, and we observe this crystalline. So on the basis of chemical content, they are classified in four groups: acid, intermediate, basic, and ultra basic. Acid means it is acidic in nature. It contains acidic in nature. pH is less than 6.5. No doubt, less than 7 or 7.5, we say that it is an acidic one. But it is here, in acidic rocks, pH is always less than 6.5 or less than 7. Then it is intermediate rocks. Then basic means pH is more than 7.5. Basic, it may contain some bases, isn't it? Here it may contain acidic salt, maybe aluminum, maybe iron oxides, or the sexy oxide. Because of these sexy oxides present in the rocks, they are acidic. The reaction is acidic here. Either reaction is basic, alkaline reaction. And here ultra basic. You just understand the meaning of this. Acid means it contains acidic portion, means the aluminum and iron oxides or the six oxides or the salt which are responsible or the ions which are responsible for make the system acidic in nature, less than 7 or less than 6.5, particularly 6.5. You see silicon dioxide above 65%. SiO2, it is acidic, 65%. Examples are these one. Examples are, these are the acidic rocks. Then how you will identify the rocks which is present in your kitchen? There is always granite is there. So it is no doubt, it is a acidic one and it has a silicon dioxide more than 65%, isn't it? Then intermediate, in between acidic and basic, in between acidic, not basic. It has some properties which are acidic in nature. It has some properties which are basic in nature. So you see, sub-acid, the range is 60 to 65%. Here we have seen that it is more than 65% in acid rocks, but it is less than 65. Less than 65 and above 60. Somewhat acidic. It is somewhat acidic. That's why we call it as an intermediate subacidic rocks. Examples are cyanite, trichyte. And then sub-basic, it has a properties. Sub-basic, it has a properties of basic rocks. Some properties, not all the properties. Not all the properties, but some properties are basic. So you see here 55 to 60%, less than 60, less than 60. So range is 55 to 60%. Diorite, isn't it? Then andesite. Then basic rocks, below 55%, less than 55%. Means all these two rocks are above 55%. You see here, it is above 55% to 65%. Or more than 65. Complete acidic, it is 65. Intermediate, less than 65 and above 60 is subacidic. Less than 60 and above 55, it is a basic. Then basic rock, below 55%. Basicity is there, below 55%. You see here, basalt, gabbro, dolerite. These are the examples. And ultra basic, less than 45%. What is less than? Silicon dioxide, SiO2. We are talking about the concentration of silicon dioxide present in the rock. If silicon dioxide is more than 65, it is acidic rock. It is more than 60 but less than 65, it is a subacidic. It is less than 60 but more than 55, it is subbasic. And subacidic and subbasic, they comes under a category of intermediate rocks. Third is a basic rock. It is completely basic. The concentration of silicon dioxide is always less than 55%, and ultra basic, it is less than 45%. You see, the range is 45 to 65. Above 65, complete acidic, full acidic, and below 45, it is basic. These are our the igneous rocks. The second rock is sedimentary rocks. We just read, because of the weathering we are talking, we have also discussed about the weathering and then transportation. After weathering of pre-existing rocks. Which is the pre-existing rocks? These are the igneous rocks is the pre-existing rocks. For the formation of secondary rock or the sedimentary, we require a first rock, primary rock, that is igneous rocks. Because of the weathering, it is a process by which the material or the rocks get disintegrate, get decomposed, means get broken down into pieces and pieces and pieces, or finer and finer and finer particles. After getting it into finer particles, they are get transported from one place to another place. So the rocks disintegrate to physical, chemical, and biological weathering. These are the types of weathering: physical weathering, chemical weathering, and biological weathering. How they are taken place? Physical weathering by means of physical. Some rat may burrow a hole into the rock. Isn't it? That is a physically done. That activity is done by physically by the some rats or the animals into the igneous rocks. May be physical activity. It may be done by the physical activity, may be done by the human beings. Human beings may collect these stones and then particles and make the roads, make the building, construction for physical construction of dams, may utilize this material. That is nothing but the weathering done by the human beings as a physical means. Chemical means because of the chemical salts present. Suppose if they contain a SiO2, or they contain some acidic salt or basic salt, or suppose they contain a sulfur salt. Suppose salt SO4 is there, is dominant in the rock. It may, sulfate may react with the water molecule during raining to form a H2SO4. Then it becomes acidic. Acid may dissolve the carbonates of calcium and magnesium present in that rock, and that why it get decomposed and get into pieces and pieces. That is chemical. And biological means entrance of the roots of biological trees, biologically grown trees, or the roots of the grasses, some shrubs, or maybe there is a development or generation of the small, just like a spirogyra or some small plants may get developed on the surface. They may enter their roots and they execute because of the roots and the organic acids released by the roots, released from the roots, they get decomposed into pieces. That is a biological weathering. Means because of the biological activities, of the the animals, they get into pieces. So this is, you just see the reactions. Then after getting into pieces, they get transported from one place to another place because of the agencies, that is water, wind, gaseous, runoff, gravity, and then they get decomposed, they get deposited elsewhere, they get disintegrated, material may get transported by the agencies and get transferred to another place, or maybe place to place. And they get deposited and there is a formation of these sedimentary rocks. This process is called a saltation, and saturation with water, loose material to move slope. This you just read this one. Because of the transportation, because of the animals, because of the natural activities, they get transported from one place to another place, get cemented there and get deposited there. Then there is formation of the secondary rocks. It is a deposition. Okay, just read this one. Diagenesis. Unconsolidated sediments to hard rocks. That material, whatever the material get transported from the place where it is formed, where it is generated, to the place where it is deposited. They get impact, compact, cementation. That is called as diagenesis, means formation of the another structure. Formation of the another structure. You may say here compaction is there, cementation is there. You just read this one. This is a process of diagenesis. Compaction means becoming compact. Cementation means because of the acids or carbonic acids or the cementing agents like iron oxides or then calcium or the lime, they get fixed together and form a structure that is sedimentary rocks. You see the examples here. You may see these examples on the net also. You use shutter.com, you will also see there. Then sedimentary rocks again get classified into, you see here, mode of formation. Arenaceous, argillaceous, calcareous, siliceous, carbonaceous, precipitated. Here you just get the meaning. Here you just get the meaning to recollect the material. Here, arenaceous and argillaceous. Here, the difference is only the structures. Difference is only the crystal size is there. Here, calcareous means it is calcium or the nature, or it is a basic. Calcium content is higher here. These also the salt are basic in nature. Siliceous means silicon is more. Carbonaceous means carbonaceous material, carbonates and bicarbonates of calcium or magnesium may be there, and it is precipitated. Get down. So just we will see just arenaceous. These rocks are formed on the deposition of coarse grained particles. Coarse particle fractions, they are big size. Fractions are big size. Just you see deposition of coarse grained particle, coarse size, big size. And you see here argillaceous, small size particles or the clay particles. Is the arenaceous, coarse size particles, then argillaceous, it is a small size particles. Is the difference in between two. Both are a sedimentary rocks. Both are a sedimentary rocks. You see here mainly composed of siliceous material. Then rocks are hard, but most of them are loose. Fall away very easy. Sandstone, conglomerate. So how you will just keep in mind or recognize this one, because the size of the grain is big size here, arenaceous, and size of the grain is small. It is mainly composed of clay here, clay particles. Here, siliceous material is there. This is main difference. Okay, just you read this one. The examples are there. Then calcareous rocks, carbonates of lime and magnesium. The word you calcareous, because of the calcium present, it is alkaline in nature. So carbonates of lime and magnesium. This is the main reason why it is called as calcareous rock. They are grown and decay by organisms in situ. After getting down, when at the end of or the dead bodies of the organisms get buried into the soil. Dead bodies of the organisms get buried into the soil or into the situ, or by transportation of their remains. These rocks are formed. How they are formed? From where the calcium or the calcareousness comes from? It is because of the organisms, dead bodies of the organisms, decaying the organism body in situ. They become calcareous, or by transporting them and buried into the soil, they become calcareous in nature. Okay? Just read this one. Examples are this one. Carbonaceous. Here the carbon. Carbonaceous. You see, vegetation under a anaerobic condition. Means the dead bodies of the plants are the plant parts. Then they get buried into the soil under anaerobic condition, not aerobic. It is anaerobic. There is a shortage of the oxygen. No oxygen is there. Because of the absence of oxygen, the bacteria which they work on that plant parts, and it becomes a carbonaceous. Okay. After decomposition of greater portion of its carbon matter into matter is retained and material is slowly converted into coal, peat. Now we are using the coal, that is this one. What is the difference? Carbonaceous, it is a deposition of plant parts, decomposition of plant parts into the soil, or deposition of plant parts into the soil and get decomposition under a anaerobic condition. Anaerobic condition is the important one, means it has a organic in nature. Organic in nature. Calcareous also they are organic in nature because there the plant bodies are there. Dead bodies of the plants and their remains. Here the dead vegetation and their remains under anaerobic condition. Examples are these. Siliceous, these rocks are also in organic origin, formed from the minute plants and animals. Mix is there. It may be due to the parts of the plants or the remains of the plants and some parts of the plant animals or the remains of the animals. So example is diatomous earth. And then precipitated rocks. These rocks are mainly of deposit form massive either by cooling, evaporation, or by direct chemical precipitation. This is a precipitation. Because of the precipitation, we observe these rocks. Then oxides, carbonates, phosphates, sulfates, and the chlorides. These are the major salts found in the rocks, and on the basis of this they are classified into different categories. The third, we will see the metamorphic rock, and after that we will conclude our topic. So remaining topic will be continued during the next lecture, or we get the chance to have a lecture again. So I know you are just somewhat tired, I think, because there is no any response from our side. So we just complete with, so this is your one of the most important topic. We will get it covered. The third is the metamorphic rocks. You know, the pre-existing rocks are there for metamorphic. There are igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. Because of the tremendous pressure and the temperature, these sedimentary rocks, they enter into a metamorphosis and they get converted into metamorphic rocks. We just see here, undergo a considerable change known as metamorphosis, and rocks so form are called metamorphic, which considerable change in the structure. considerable change in the structure. That's why, who is responsible for this one? Because of the pressure and the high temperature. Pressure and high temperature, it is possible is under the earth crust or beneath the, between the earth crust. Not above the earth crust. Okay. You see the examples, classification on the basis of their formation. Hydrometamorphic rock. Hydro itself indicate it contains water. The change in igneous and aqueous rocks brought about by water is known as hydrometamorphic rock, because for the change of igneous rocks to a metamorphic rock, water is responsible. That's why it is called as hydrometamorphic rock. In the structure, change in the structure, not in the shape. So this is called as hydrometamorphic rocks. That is, there is a action of water is there. How the change take place? It tends to remove some material or introduce new material in the existing rocks. Suppose we have a sedimentary rocks, some material may get dissolved into the water and will be get transported from one place to another place. That is, there is some change in the water, action of water. Or some water contain these type of salts and materials, they come to their salt, they come to their place and get enter that salts into the sedimentation. There will be again change in the structure because of addition of the salts or the chemicals present in the water, and they will get added into the material. So there will be change in the existing rock. At that time, existing rock is sedimentary. By the introduction of cementing material like silica, lime, iron oxide, a loose sand may be turned into a sandstone. They get converted because of the cementing material here. Which is the cementing material? Silica is there, lime is there, iron oxides are there. Or by removal of certain constituent, or by removal of this type of material by the percolating water. If percolating water or the water remove this material from that sand, that rock, they may change the structure of rock. You see here, by percolating water, a basalt or granite may be converted into a laterite. Means there is a change in the structure of. Then thermo indicate the heat. Here we are talking about the action of water, hydro. Here we are talking about the heat. This metamorphism is done by the temperature. Change in the rock brought about by a heat is known as thermometamorphism. The rocks are so formed called thermometamorphic rock. That is, action of heat is there. Hardens the rocks, action of heat because of the tremendous heat. If we apply a tremendous heat, first it will hard the soil because it will remove the chemical constituents which are present in that particular rock. So action of heat hardens the rocks and often develops new crystals. Accompanying vapors and solution also help to bring about changes in the older rocks. Means applying the vapors and the solution present, it may change the original structure of the rocks. So this is called as a thermometamorphic rock. These are the marble from limestone, conversion of marble or transformation of marble to limestone. You see here, dynamometamorphic rocks. Rocks by pressure. This change is due to the action of pressure. Change in rocks brought about by pressure is known as dynamo. You see, action of pressure tends to change the structure of rock. Due to this pressure, the crystal get foliated and form folia, thick middle and then thin at the edges, called as foliation. You just read this one. See the examples. We have seen the rock cycle earlier in the first slides. I think it is not necessary to see it again. Okay, friends, we will stop here. So this the soil forming minerals. We will continue it into the next time because the topic was little bit much more slides are there in the rocks, and I want to know that how the minerals are, how the minerals and how the soils they come from, how they come from. Where is the actual soil particles? Soil particles are nothing but the silicon, silicon and alumina octahydrides. Because these are the two basic structure, how they are formed from the or from where they are present on the surface of the earth. So then and then we will just do the soil forming minerals and how the soil is formed. So silicon tetrahedra and alumina octahedra, these are the two basic structure, how they are come from the rocks. So I want to just explain you that how the material come from. That's why we have taken too much time here. So I think we conclude our lecture here. When time permits, we will again continue this soil forming minerals, how they are responsible for to form a different types of soils. This is the little bit very clisp, somewhat clisp to understand it. But if you read 2-3 times this presentation, you may go take this presentation from Gogresar and read carefully. Definitely it will help you for your final examination, and it will help you to understand how the soil is formed, which are the primary minerals, why they are called as a primary mineral, which are the secondary minerals, why they are called secondary minerals, how they come from, how they react with each other, why there is a formation of soil particle, why soil remain stuck together, why they are not remaining a separate particle, just like our ponds or talcum powder. You might have seen that talcum powder, it will remain a separate single particle. But in the nature, you do not found that type of soil because there is some charge on the outer orbit of the particles. So this is in short about. Thank you very much. I again thanks to Dr. Gogre sir and the team, then the principal of the Kekewa Institute, College of Agriculture, Nasik, and the concern for inviting me for the presentation of this topic, that is rock cycle and the soil forming. Because of the time, we not cover this soil forming minerals. But if you are interested, we will continue this topic during some periods, if we permit us. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Gogre sir, shall we continue?
Okay, sir.
Gogre sir,
Thank you very much for you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हा आपण बंद करू, जरा बोर झाले असतील मुलं.
Oh, yes, sir. Now we are at the end of today's this lecture. So I will request Professor P.M. Shirsagar sir to kindly propose vote of thanks. Okay. Shirsagar sir.
On behalf of KK Education Society and KK College of Horticulture, myself, Professor PM Shirsagar, would like to thank Dr. Palve sir for giving their valuable time to guide us. I also thankful to Principal Sandan sir, KK College of Horticulture, and students and staff of College of Horticulture who attended this program. With permission of Principal sir, I would like to conclude today's guest lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
स्टॉप करायचं
Yes, sir.
करायचं बंद.
हो सर, येस सर, बंद करू.
हा मग काय समजलं का मुलांना का नाही समजलं वरून गेलं.
हो सर, ऍक्च्युली क्लासमध्ये प्रेझेंटेशन स्क्रीनवर डिस्प्ले केलं होतं आणि स्पीकरवर त्यांना ऐकू येत होतं, त्यामुळे त्यांना रिस्पॉन्ड करायला वेळ नव्हता, म्हणजे वेळ म्हणजे करता येत नव्हतं रिस्पॉन्ड, कारण माईक.
नाही पण समजलं का मुलांना जरा.
हो, म्हणून समजलंय सर.
ठीक आहे.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच सर, वन्स अगेन.
हो
नेक्स्ट रिमेनिंग टॉपिक विल कव्हर इन लेटर.
हो जरा वेळ द्या, आता पुढचा एक घेऊन टाकू म्हणजे मग कंटिन्यू होईल. ओके ओके. थँक्यू अगेन वन्स अगेन फॉर यू अँड युअर टीम.
येस सर, थँक्यू.